A pleasant day, everyone. I am Shane Elfa, and the topic that I will discuss is about grammar rules. We have the two types of grammar rules, prescriptive rule and descriptive rule. So let's proceed first to the prescriptive rule. Prescriptive rule is a grammar that prescribes how speakers should use the language. So the first prescriptive rule is do not use deferent to and never use deferent than. Always use deferent from. The difference between these terms is that deferent from and deferent to are standard in British English, while deferent than is primarily used in American English. So we need to use deferent from when we are writing or when we are comparing two or more things, because it is common of these phrases in all regional variations of English. You can therefore use it with confidence in any piece of writing. But you can use deferent to or deferent than. But remember that they may be non-standard in some parts of the world. Example, Adam is so different from his brother. So, we can easily understand that Adam is different from his brother. Next, prescriptive rule is never use the passive if you can use the active. So, English verb have two voices, the passive voice and the active voice. So when we say active voice, a sentence has a subject that acts upon its verb, while passive voice is a subject as a recipient of a verb's action. So in writing, we always consider whether you should use the passive or the active voice. If you want to draw attention to the doer, then you can use the passive. But if your intention is to put the focus in the action, then you should go for the active. For example, active voice, he buys a camera. The passive voice, a camera is bought by him. And last prescriptive rules is use shall for the first person and will for the second and third persons. So, we need to use the word shall with the first person pronouns to form a future tense, while will is used with second person and third person. So shall is another way of saying should. So for example, someone saying they are expected to do something. For example, I shall go to the beach if it's sunny outside. Or you shall go to school. So I shall refer to the first person. For example of will, he or she will be happy with her exam results, or they will take the bus to the south next week. So he or she will refers to the second or third person, and they will refers to the third person. Let's proceed now to the descriptive rule. So descriptive rule is a grammar that describes how language is used by its speaker. So first, descriptive rule is you do not normally use the with proper nouns referring to people. So the is used before a noun and before most plural proper nouns and some singular proper nouns. But it cannot be used in the names or proper nouns that identify a person. For example, give it to the John, which is wrong because we use the. So when we use the in identifying a person, it will sound like you are trying to dispersonalize someone and can be considered rude and awkward. Another example is give it to John, which is correct. But if the name or proper noun identifies a thing or place, the is used. It's an article and not part of the name. Next, descriptive rule is we use to with infinitive. For example, used to make to say that something regularly happened in the past but no longer happens. So, we use the word used to when we refer to the things in the past which are no longer true. It can refer also to repeated actions or to a state or situation. But take note that in statements, the form used to does not change. It always refers to past time. So next is we use some and any with uncountable nouns and plural nouns. The rule is that you use some in positive sentence and any in questions and negative sentence. So for example, can I get you something to drink? Coffee or tea? Means I am offering you a limited choice of things to drink. So when we use some in the questions, we limit what we are offering to the person. But when we use any in the questions, we are not limiting the choice. For example, would you like anything to drink? Include a whole range of things to drink. Next, do you have any questions? Means you can ask me anything you like. The primary difference between some and any is that some is specific though unspecified, while any is unspecific. That is, some implies amount or number that is known to the speaker. So let's proceed to the pedagogic grammar. It is a description of how to use the grammar of a language to communicate for people wanted to learn the target language. Pedagogic grammar is occupies a ground between descriptive rule and prescriptive rule. But I have already discussed it in earlier. So let's proceed now to the pedagogic distinction between rule of form and use. So the rule of form is to form the past simple of regular verbs, add ed to the infinitive. So for example, base form plus ed equals simple past. Walk, walk. Push, push. Greet, greeted. Cover, covered. So let's proceed now to the rule of use. The simple past tense is used to indicate past actions or state. So for example, last year, 1 hour ago, last Sunday. So that's all my report. Thank you for listening and watching. God bless everyone.